there, I am Melissa, and I'm gonna share with you some of my knitting today. Sorry if you heard that, that's my cat. Actually, both of them are here. I have two cats. One's name is Luna and the other is Lily. Luna is an almost 2-year-old Manx mix with tabby coat. And then Lily is about 7 months and she's a little calico munchkin. I think she'll let me grab her. Oh, this is little Lily. Her little hair's grown back on her belly. She just got spayed not too long ago. But she has the prettiest green eyes. And she is a lover, absolute lover. Yeah, she has a vet appointment this coming up week to check out her ears. I would show you Luna, but she's very much aloof, typical cat. She would rather not be pet or picked up unless she wants to be. So other than that, I will show you what I've recently finished. I know that that's how these typically go. So yeah, this has been a labor of love. So, try and show you everything. The back also has it on there. So, about this sweater, it is made out of Holst Garn Super Soft in the colorway Tobacco. I was heavily inspired last year by Inga from Knitting Traditions. Her sweater was just gorgeous. I think she did hers in a cinnamon color, but she did her cable work out of the Japanese Stitch Bible, and I did as well. I think I have a different version though, but yeah, I thought it was a great idea, and I wanted to try and, I don't know, work out my skills, see if I was able to do it, and I was very pleased with how this turned out. And I think it is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I just love it. And a bunch of baubles, as you can tell. Tons and tons of baubles. And then the center cable braid going down. And I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera. No. Yeah, it's not showing up. But in person, there are so many different little colors in this yarn. I'm seeing greens and purples, yellows, and every now and then a blue color. But yeah, I recently finished this. I bought it on a cone, so it was 500 grams, and I was playing yarn chicken with the sleeves. I was very terrified of running out of yarn. So once I finished the body and the collar, right up in here, once I bound that off, I just spun up on my ball winder the rest of the yarn off the cone. I weighed it, and then I split it into quarters. So I did hold it double-stranded. So with the cone itself, I don't have it anymore because I used like all of the yarn. I already tossed it. But with the cone itself, I would just wind on a ball winder, you know, up until it was big enough, and I would just take it off, and then I would just knit double-stranded the entire time. So for the sleeves, I ended up splitting the remainder of the cone yarn into 4 different skeins, so I could do 2 on one side, 2 on the other. So with the sweater, I actually did set-in sleeves, so I ended up working in the round all the way up to the armpit. I then bound off, and I can't even remember how many I bound off. I think I did 12. From there, I would just knit straight. And then once I got to about where I wanted the collar to sit, I then bound off the center stitches, and I just decreased here on the sides of the collar. So I was working one side flat, and then I would do the other side in flat. And then while I did that, all these back stitches at the armpit were on a spare needle or spare cable. And then I just more or less did the same thing. I just went up slightly higher from where I did on the collar, so about like an inch or two difference. And same kind of deal, except I decreased a lot faster back here along this side, but other than that, the arm stayed straight. I did not do any decreases over here because I wanted to make sure that that it was going to be comfortable, and I kept trying it on constantly to make sure that I got it just right. The top portion, so the shoulders, I just seamed it just with a mattress seam. This side was a little bit wonky. It's off just a tiny bit, but I do think I was pretty bang on this side. I thought that side turned out pretty well. But yeah, I did tubular cast on at the bottom of the hem, and then I did a tubular bind off on the sleeve cuffs and on the collar. Pretty much about this, I loved it. Absolutely loved this. I didn't follow any pattern other than the cable pattern motif here in the center. So nothing else from the Japanese Stitch Bible that I followed told me how to do any kind of waist shaping, arm shaping, nothing like that. I just did a gauge swatch. I gauged it, I washed it, blocked it, and then I pretty much just measured my body and then just got going and started knitting. And I was so nervous the whole time because I'm so used to always looking at the pattern for reference, being able to just go and be like, oh, what did they do here? Where'd they decrease? How'd they do this and that? And with this, I wasn't able to. I had to just kind of work it in my brain, and I don't know how it happened, but I guess my hands know better than my brain sometimes because they did all the work, it seems like. But yeah, other than that, the sides, it's a moss stitch. So it is more or less like a seed stitch doubled, I guess. The only amount of shaping I would say would be on the shoulders. So here on the shoulder, whenever I picked up stitches, I actually did short rows, and I just did wrap and turns. I could have done German short rows, but for some reason I was in the mood for wrap and turns, so that's what I did. But yeah, I just did short rows, and you may be able to see it about right in here because it was a little wonky for me. When I started knitting in the round again, the pattern for the moss stitch got off just a tiny bit, but for the most part, I think it looks great, and no one's really looking at my arms. But yeah, I did like a nice little cap here. Just a little doop. And then I just pretty much knit about an inch. I started doing the decreases for the underarm, and I pretty much just did like every 9 stitches or so, or 9 rounds, I mean. I would do a decrease on like each side of my beginning of round marker, but absolutely love it. I soaked it, well, I rinsed it like 3 times, and then I finally did a really nice soak on it with some, I think it's the Eucalyptus Rapture, the jasmine scented one. So anyway, she turned out gorgeous. I love her. I actually wore her out and about yesterday. Here in Bismarck, North Dakota. Me and my fiance, we went grocery shopping, and I wore that out because it's really cold and snowy here. It's actually starting to warm up slightly, which is nice. But yeah. Sorry, need a drink. Yeah, that's pretty much my only finished project. I was working on that pretty monogamously. I do have a good amount of whips though that I've had for a while, and some of them I really want to go through and just frog them because there's some I'm never going to finish. I don't even really think it's things that I'm going to enjoy wearing that much. So I just think I'll end up frogging some of them, but the ones that I brought in to the room to show you guys, are the ones that I'm going to keep and actually work on and hopefully finish sometime soon. And then, yeah. So the one that I've been working on for the past couple of days, I would say very, like, I'm in it, I'm gonna work on it as much as I can, would be this shawl. It is by Andrea Mowry, and it is the Boho Blush shawl. And so I think it's absolutely beautiful. So here we go. Absolutely love it. It's a crescent shaped shawl. I've never made a crescent shaped shawl before. All of the other shawls I've made are asymmetrical or a triangle. I should have brought some of those in. Maybe next time I film I'll bring my shawls in. There's not many. It's probably like 7 or 8. It's not a ton, but they're fun to work on. Anyway, more about this one. I think it is so much fun. The yarn I am using is the Yarn Bee 44th Street yarn. So this is towards the center of a skein that I had left over. I just finished up the first ball of it, which there's like some ends I'll have to weave in right here. Like I just connected my little remnant down here because I have a whole nother skein, but I figure if I can finish the shawl with this little bit and then I have a full skein left over, I can do something else with it, like a tank top or something for this summer. I don't know. But anyway, this shawl has been so much fun to work on. Absolutely love it. I'm working it on the Like needles, size 4 US, and then millimeters it's 3.5. These ones are the fixed ones. My other 4s are on another project, which I'll show you here in a moment. But yeah, I've been really loving this. The yarn is super squishy. I do know that it's not 100% wool or anything like that. It's just acrylic. It's an acrylic yarn that I just bought, you know, offhand for actually a colorwork sweater that I made up last year. Oh no, I think that was the year before. I think that was 2020 that I did that sweater. I did a really pretty holiday themed Soldotna sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and I was inspired by that kind of colorwork theme from I think her name is Tara from TB Kennon knits. I'll try and put her channel down below. I absolutely love her channel. But anyway, I was inspired by that, which made me buy the 44th Street yarn, which then the leftovers and then one more skein of purchase is leading to this shawl, and it's so sweet and soft. I'm hoping I can finish this and wear it whenever I get married this year. I think it'll be really beautiful. It has really nice like strings on it. I'll try and link the project or the pattern I mean down below. I'm still getting used to all this technical stuff. But yeah, so that's that shawl. I think it's knitting up quite nice. I would say that towards the beginning I was watching, I think it was Andrea Mowry's episode. She was talking about the crescent shawls and how sometimes you get like this little like, I don't know, pucker here where it kind of bows a little bit inward. And I just followed her advice on it. So if you want to go and check out her channel and look for, it was towards one of the beginning ones. I can't remember offhand, but just go and check it out. I'm sure that you'll be able to find it if you just type in, you know, shawls, Andrea Mowry, it should pop up. So the other whip I'm working on, it's going to be a whole year of knitting on this. It's a big project. My mom started it, and she actually, oh gosh, I forgot who she found out like about it. Like I forgot who it was that told her about it, but she started doing a temperature blanket. And if you don't know what a temperature blanket is, it's whenever you take the temperatures that you have during the day where you live, or maybe where you would like to live, or a place you just admire, you just follow their weather every day. So for me, I put together this. It just shows my temperatures in Fahrenheit, to be accurate. This is Fahrenheit temperatures since I'm here in America. So yeah, it just shows like below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using a white and the color number because I'm also using the Yarn Bee. I forgot exactly which one it is. Yeah, I'll try and link that down below too. It's one of like their acrylics that's just like a typical worsted weight that they have. But yeah, so right now I've been mostly using from about this kale color they have listed here all the way down to white. Those are my colors I've been working with right now because it's been pretty cold. I started this in January, as did my mom. She started at the beginning of January. I admired her blanket and was telling her, oh, well, next year, because I didn't plan on doing it, even though I really wanted to. But yeah, she finally, towards like, I think the mid-January, she's like, oh, you should just do it, go to Hobby Lobby and buy some yarn and make it with me. So we're kind of doing this little mother-daughter knit-along thing. Anyway, so this is where I'm at with my blanket. I quite honestly forgot just how many stitches I casted on. I want to say I put on like 263 stitches, I think. Let's go with that, 263. It was an odd number. I remember that because with this I'm doing the linen or moss stitch and crochet. So this is a crocheted blanket that I'm working on, as is my mother's. She's doing a chevron pattern and I'm just doing a basic, more of a flat, straight lines, linen moss stitch, so it kind of looks woven a little bit. I really love that look for crochet. A lot of my crocheted dishcloths are actually in that stitch. I think it's beautiful. So what makes this fun is that my mom is down in Texas in the US and I'm up in North Dakota, so we're kind of like, here I am in the north and she's literally just below me in Texas, but it's a lot warmer there. So hers actually has a lot more like oranges already, from like warmer days and it's winter there. Where I'm at, it's a little bit more traditional cold temperatures, so I have like snow outside, which is actually kind of melting. It's really warm today actually. I think it's 50 or almost 50 degrees out. But anyway, here is my blanket. The marker represents the last row of January, and then the beginning of February is in the gray. But here we go. So at the bottom here, that is January 1st in the white. And then you just go on down. And this last one is actually February 28th, so the last day of the month. And fun fact is that yesterday was my 29th birthday, so that is this light green right here, which is green apple, I believe, but I think it is absolutely fun. I am so excited to see what this will look like in December, or on December 31st, whenever it's all done. I am really horrible at crochet blankets. I have tried so many times to do the scrappy blankets. I've even tried the knitted ones that you make the little squares out of, or the little puffy hexagons. I'm awful at those. I don't know why. Especially with crochet blankets, I just feel like it takes forever. It's such a slog. I don't know. It's not my jam when it comes to crochet. I would much rather knit. But yeah, with this, I figured, hey, if it's a row, just one row a day, just one row, put it in, I'm done, great, I can handle that. I should be able to handle that anyway. Yeah, so far so good. Other than that, speaking of crochet things, I actually have a Totoro right here. So whenever the whole pandemic started here in America anyway, I got laid off of work and I had a bunch of yarn left over, and so I fell in love with the Studio Ghibli movies. And one of my favorite ones, honestly, is Howl's Moving Castle. I can watch that movie every single day. Especially if I'm cleaning around the house. I love that movie. Oh my goodness. But I started watching other movies on my sister's HBO Max. She let me have her information so I can make a little profile on there and watch. Found out about My Neighbor Totoro. Loved it. Oh my gosh. Such an adorable movie. If you have kids, or if you don't, if you just want to watch a good animated film, this is a good one. Anyway, let me try and grab him. Oh, and by the way, these are pictures of me and my fiance as kids. Oh my gosh. All right. So this is my Totoro. He's filled with a bunch of rice, so some kind of fall out every now and then. But I thought he was so cute. So he has pretty weighty arms and little cute ears. He's adorable. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't have the right color of gray to do the little, you know, upside down triangles or arrows here. And I wanted to wait until I had the right stuff because I didn't want to use the dark and put it there. I mean, I guess I could. But yeah, he just protects our bookshelf over here and chills and hangs out most days. So his nose and his eyes are out of, oh, what was it? I am spacing right now. Iztex Plutolopi. I did the, is it Ado? Shawl by Melody Hoffman. Loved it. Oh my god. I will say, it took me a while to work on that shawl because the yarn just breaks constantly and I knit pretty darn tight. I have to kind of remind myself, like, cool it, relax, enjoy this. But yeah, it was work. But when I finished that shawl, that is my most worn shawl. I love it. Anyway, the scraps went into Totoro here, except for the gray. This was out of some 100% wool that my mom gave me for Christmas like 3 to 4 years ago. I just had it in my little stash drawer of my dresser and thought it would do great, has great structure, smelled wonderful. I love the smell of good sheepy wool. What is my hair doing? Sorry, one thing is that my hair is probably not in the best shape to be filming this. I'm actually about to go work out here in a little bit with my fiance, but it's just like my hair is a little on the sweatier side. I just got done cleaning anyway. Just like ignore that. But he's pretty cute. He's pretty heavy. Also down here, the whitish gray. I don't know if you can see that fully. There we go. Yeah, so it is still the Plutolopi that's on his eyes. I don't know if it'll, there we go. And then also I made kind of like a little felted eyeball. I don't know if you can see that, but it is like pretty hard and round. I ended up putting, oh, it wasn't a mohair, and I think it was like a brushed Surrey alpaca that I had, like tiny little bit left, like I think maybe 10 grams, maybe. I just paired that in with his belly to kind of give that, you know, just a little bit different vibe going on, so it's not just a complete white cream color. I wanted it to look kind of fuzzy like Totoro would be For his eyes, I just did the plutolopi around, and then I made these little felted balls with the plutolopi, and I literally just put them in my hands and spun them around like I was making pasta, like I was about to make some gnocchi. I just felted them and just put them all on the mat and let them dry, and then I just kind of sewed it in as best as I could. Only thing is I never made his tail, so he is, you know, he doesn't have a tail on his butt. So he's a little bear back there, but since he just sits back here, I figured it's okay. And another thing that I like to do is my fiance has this little Cub Scouts hat that was his dad's, that I just think is so sweet. It has his dad's name in it. I think it's too sweet, so I like to put it on Totoro, make him look all cool and stuff, just like that. Looks like he's about to go to recess. But yeah. Sorry, that was a whole spiel there. Which back here I have a little sheep thing. It just kind of holds like little extra batteries. I think that thing may have some stitch markers in it. I don't know. I got it as a gift and I thought it was kind of cute, so it goes there. I have my Lord of the Ring books. Bunch of Brad's textbooks here. I don't know if you guys can see anything there, but it's like a bunch of calculus and stuff. He's a very brilliant man, my fiance. But that's his side of the bookshelf pretty much from here over. Yeah, there over is his, down here over. The rest of mine is like over this way. I have a little yarn bowl here that I can pull yarn out of. I have my spinning wheel here that I never use. I never use this thing, mostly because it's antique. It is very special to me. Maybe another time I'll tell you the story of how I actually got this spinning wheel. It is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this. I cherish it. I'll tell you the story another day. It's a long story, but it's a good one. I promise. But yeah. That's pretty much my bookshelf. All of my pattern books are down below. So anyway, there's my my blanket. I guess it could be a shawl. It's big enough to be one. No, it'll be a nice little throw blanket. It's nice. Yeah. So that whip will be ongoing. I will be showing that one here and there throughout these videos. Which these videos for me are gonna just be more for me to hopefully connect with some people that enjoy knitting or fiber crafting in any way. I am very much a loner, like an introvert. I don't have many friends, and those that I do have are states away, either in Texas or Washington State here in America, and so I don't have many friends to knit with or anything, but I've always really enjoyed watching knitting podcasts. I guess I'm a lurker. Also, I never would comment hardly ever on videos. I would always just watch and have it on the background while I'm cleaning because it was very meditative to me and very therapeutic. Like I felt like, oh, there's other people out there that enjoy knitting like I do. But I've always just been too shy to say anything, mostly from, you know, past childhood trauma of talking to the popular kids. You know, that's kind of how it feels for me anyways, talking to the popular kids and being, you know, I don't know. But the knitting community, for what I see, is a great one to be in, and I just thought this would be a fun way to maybe connect. If not, it'll just be some personal vlogs for me to look back on and laugh at when I'm older. Anyway, one of my other longtime whips, which will be the last one I'm going to show today, it's the half and half triangle wrap. I'm sure all of you have heard about this, and if not, it is by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern. It's made out of their linen quill yarn. Oh my god, it is absolutely beautiful. I saw and on Knitting Traditions, on the Gentle Knitter podcasts, just everywhere, everybody has made one of these. And I love how normally when I have nothing else to do, I'll pick up a pair of socks and just do stockinette. Just knit some plain vanilla socks, I'm great. Good to go. Easy TV knitting, you know, another stripe. Oh, a couple more rounds. Love it. So this is kind of like that for me, where it's just knitting. I don't mind talking too much about it since it is a free pattern. There's some, not decreases, short rows shaping. Sorry, I do this when I'm thinking. I talk a lot with my hands and my face. Pretty much whenever someone talks to me, you'll pretty much know how I feel or react just by my face. Like, really, it's that's just how I am. But yeah, so the short rows are in it, and I'm actually doing the I-cord sighting, which I know that Inga talked about on her podcast. Sorry, this is all about Inga. I love her podcast. She's amazing in so many ways, especially with how fast she can just like pop out those projects. I am just stunned. I do not knit that fast, and I feel like I kind of do, but no. So anyway, my half and half has not gotten much love. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. I have to pause this and try to get a little capture of my cat. She's actually laying on one of the yarns right now. Hold on. Okay, just look at how sweet this is. Oh. So this is Luna. She's my almost 2-year-old on March 18th. She is a sweet girl. Oh, when she wants to be. Most of the time she does not want anything to do with mommy unless she wants attention or food. Lily, her little sister, she is much more the cuddle bug. But Luna here loves yarn. She absolutely loves the smell of it and just wants to cuddle and all the yarn. So yeah, that's what I just looked down to. Is her down there laying on one of the skeins that I brought in here to show you. Lily, I think, ran off to the living room. She tends to do that where she's laying on the bed. But anyway, my half and half triangle wrap, it has not gotten much love, y'all, at all. Like, it's just sitting here. It's just sitting here. I do have a really cute stitch marker on this one. I bought this for myself around Christmas time. Selfish, present buying. But this is from the Simply Serving on Etsy. And oh my god, I could not help myself. It's a little cat s'more with glitter. I couldn't help myself. I had to buy it. It makes me smile when I knit, so might as well. So the colors that I chose, they are the linen quill from Pearl Soho. There's the specs there, 50% Highland wool, and then, what does that say? 35 alpaca, 15 linen. And this one is the oatmeal gray. There's some more specs on there for you. If it will kindly focus. Oh no. Okay, well, anyway. Kinda can there we go. Oh, no, my camera. Just ignore it. But yeah, it's just the oatmeal gray. It's a beautiful yarn. Way softer than this one was knitting with it. And even now, like with the Hulsk, the super soft, I mean, I find it fine. I will wear this like right up next to my skin and I'm fine. Even in here, it's like 68, 70 degrees inside. with the sun coming through the windows, and it doesn't bother me. But I do know that I've heard some people find this itchy. I personally am not a good person to ask because I find it fine. I actually find it softer than this kind of wool here. I think that actually is helped with the alpaca and linen in it, but I'm not sensitive to alpaca. The only yarn I will say I'm slightly just, it's a little prickly to me, is like the Alafaslopi by Istex, or you know, the thicker Icelandic yarns like that. I find just a little bit more toothier, a little bit more like, ooh, that kind of itches. That's the only time I really find anything bothering me anyway. I always just say give it a go. Maybe you could get in touch with other knitters, and if they have any spare yarn or leftovers that they don't want in their stash, you guys may be able to swap it to test it out to see if you would like it. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so I'm doing the large size in this. I bought 3 skeins of this one, which I did not talk about. So this is also the Pearl Soho linen quill. This one is in the rose granite. I don't know if this one will focus. Oh, she almost did. Oh gosh, I think it may be trying, there we go. Yeah, she worked on this one. So there's the rose granite. But bought 3 skeins of this one, and then the oatmeal gray. I just love those colors together. I love a mauvey pink. I love a gray. They just go well together like PB&J, y'all. PB&J are these kind of colors for me. It's, oh, and if you don't know what a PB&J is, that is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It is peanut butter, so a nut butter, and then some jam. Put them on 2 slices of bread, you're good to go. That is a good meal. I've always loved that as a snack. But yeah, other than that, I really don't know if I have much else to talk to y'all about. Yeah, oh, I do know that on the temperature blanket, I am actually using a 5.5 millimeter. It's kind of wearing off from me holding it. But yeah, 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. I really like these ones with like a little bit of comfort there. I have a whole set of just like typical crochet hooks that are metal that don't have this on there, and it always makes my hand hurt so bad. But yeah, these ones seem to work better for me. I do hold my hook like this. I do know most people tell you to hold it like a pencil. I find that so uncomfortable. It's fine. I'll knit like this. It does not cause me any difficulty. Plus, I also don't crochet that often. This year I will be though. 1 row every day. Other than that, for this sweater, I mostly did it on, oh goodness. I think I did it on 3.5 millimeter needles. Yeah, 3.5 millimeter needles, which is a 2.5, whoops, US. And anyway, I made, the sleeves anyway were a huge help with the Chiagu set of shorties. I bought these off of Amazon and I love them. They are amazing. Sorry, a bunch of needles just fell out whenever I pulled this out. So not prepared, there went more. So they're so tiny they just slip out. I'm sorry. Let's get these back in here where they belong. There we go. So yeah, I'm sure some of you have seen this before. It's just a shorty set. So they're the same sizes, 0 to 3, 0 to 3. And I am so sorry. I said 2.5 millimeter, I believe earlier. I used the 2.5 US in the 3 millimeter needle. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this right, but sometimes, well, I don't know, my head's in the clouds, I guess. But yeah, so I don't know if you can see this very well, but they just have these longer ones like this. They have the longer tip, and then they also have the even shorter tip. I'll try and show you side by side. So there they are. There's the difference. I love these ones for knitting socks. I also love these ones for knitting socks. Most of the time I will put the longer side on my more dominant hand. So I am a right-handed knitter. I also knit continental. So I hold and tension my yarn in my left hand. So in my, I guess, picking hand, my right hand, I will actually have the longer needle on my short cord because I like to knit on the 9-inch circular, which cords do come in this pack. And so what I would do is on here, I would just attach the long side, attach the short side, and then just do that. I find that it's a little bit easier. There's a little bit more space for my hands because when I was just knitting with these little itty bitties, it can get a little taxing on your fingers and hands. I find that situation, right hand big needle, little needle for your tensioning hand if you're a continental knitter, you know. Anyway, that helps me. Let me know if it helps you at all. But yeah, that is my little shorty set. I actually have some socks on the go right now. So my number 2 needles are gone, and I believe my 6-inch cable is also gone. So that's why there's only one in here, which is the 5-inch. Unfortunately, the 8-inch cable that comes with this snapped. Okay, so that happened when I was pretty much done at a certain point on the last sleeve of this sweater. Y'all, I felt it starting to snag on my knitting, and I about cried. I ended up switching to the little itty bitty cable here, and it worked, and I was able to finish it. But I will let you know, I am a tight knitter. I know this. I tell myself to relax. Sometimes I'm just in the zone and I'm going and I can't help myself. And I have slightly bigger hands for a girl. So like when I'm holding the needles, my pinky was putting too much pressure on that joint. And even though it's surgical steel under here, my pinky was resting right here so much at the end of the needle with my finger putting that pressure there. And it just snapped right off that red cord. That red cord, I mean, snapped right off of that fixture. So I actually put in an order to Amazon for 2 of the 8 inches. And hopefully whenever I use those next on a sweater that I'm planning on making for my fiance soon, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Because I've never had any issues with the smaller ones. The smaller ones that I use for socks, I've never had that issue, but I think maybe it's because of the way I'm knitting with it. I don't know. I'll just be more mindful and give it a go, see how it is. Cannot recommend these enough. I'm not sponsored in any way. I just really like these. They do come with a little gauge ruler situation there, and then they also give you little blockers to rest your stitches on if you need a pair of the needles, and then some stitch markers and little pins to hook and unhook your needle from the cord. I cannot remember how much this was offhand. I want to say it was like rough in US dollars, like 85 to 95, somewhere in there, but to me that is a way better deal than buying each of these sizes individually in a fixed circumference. I just feel like it's a better deal. Yeah, other than that, I believe I am done. Again, I think that towards the end I'll leave it to like maybe talking more about like me, what's going on, things like that. This was very informal, by the way. I literally just finished cleaning the apartment, which I do live in an apartment, so if you hear any weird noises or anything like that, it's probably because I live in an apartment and it can be kind of loud sometimes. But yeah, so here at the end, I'll talk a little bit about me just real quick. I don't want to, make this super duper long video. But yes, my name is Melissa. I live in Bismarck, North Dakota in the US. So I recently just moved here with my fiance back in June 2021. So we haven't even lived here a full year. The winter is fine. I don't know. I've heard mixed comments about it from the locals here that have grown up here. They say that it's a more mild winter. Some people said it was pretty regular or typical. I don't know. It wasn't too bad to me. Yeah. To me, it's been fine. Pretty much a little bit about me. I grew up in Texas. I grew up there. Me and my whole family. I have 2 brothers that are older than me and 1 younger sister. I was raised and lived in Texas. Once I turned 18 and graduated high school, I then moved with my mom and sister up to Washington State in the Pacific Northwest of the US. And so that's more closer to like the Puget Sound area. So not Seattle. I was north of there, near some islands and stuff. I actually lived on an island. It was a man-made one. They made a channel, but still an island. It was beautiful. I loved it there. That's where I met my fiance. It was originally from Santa Fe, New Mexico. So we've been kind of all over the US so far. I've done a lot more traveling than he has in the US, I feel like. I know that when he was younger, he did a lot more traveling and stuff with his own family. So he has gone to like Colorado, and I think that he said he went to Florida. Anyway, he's been to places. I know I've been to more states than he has, so, and that's just from traveling and visiting Washington to Texas. Like, it takes about 2 or 3 days to even get out of Texas. It's such a large state. But after that, it's like other states are smaller, so I've pretty much been, if you drew a line from Texas up to North Dakota, I've been to all the states to the west of that. I hope one day to get to all 50 states. I also hope to one day go travel abroad and see Japan. That's always been on a bucket list, is to go to Japan, Italy. Definitely want to go to Ireland one day just because I am half Irish, so it'd be fun to go and check out where my biological grandparents are from. And I say that because my dad was actually adopted. So my dad is actually full Irish, or a good amount, because I think my mom actually has some too. So I think my dad is like, when he did his test, he's like over 50 something, like I think he's like 80 something percent. Anyway, y'all don't want to hear about my genealogy. Anyway, so yeah, it would be nice to go to Ireland. I would really enjoy going to Germany too. I know on my mom's side, there's a lot of German genes there, so it'd be fun to go and check that out one day. Who knows if I'll ever be able to. These are just wishful hopes and dreams of mine. But yeah, we came over here to North Dakota because Brad, my fiance, is going to university over here. And so we thought, for us anyway, the way that the tuition works here is like if you're a resident of the state, then you get a better deal tuition-wise. And I don't know if this is how it is over in other countries or not. I don't know. But anyway, so we moved over here, even though all his classes are online, to hopefully get a better deal for him this coming up year in 2022 in the fall, to hopefully just make that tuition price a little bit cheaper, and to be able to do that, like this whole year, this school year, I should say, he's had to pay an out-of-state tuition. So it is a little bit higher. but this next fall he'll be paying an in-state tuition, so we can save a little bit of money there. Also, just for general knowledge, cost of living here in North Dakota isn't nearly as high as it was in Washington State. We're actually getting a lot better deals here, not just on groceries, but on living. Like, oh my gosh, the rent here is, oh my gosh, way more affordable than it was in Washington by far. But anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I am expecting some yarn to come in the mail soon. I ordered some more yarn from Hulsgarn, and I bought, I think 2 cones. I bought another Hulsgarn Super Soft, and I bought, I think it was one of the ones with cotton in it. And then I also made a purchase on Knit Picks for yarn for me and also for my fiance. I'm planning on making him something special. So if you're interested at all, look for another video coming out, and to do that you can always subscribe to this channel and give it a like if you enjoy it. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I know that's really silly of me to say because I've been a lurker this whole time, but seriously, leave a comment. I would love to meet some people. And hit the bell too if you want to see whenever new video podcast comes out from me. Also, I don't have any like clever names for this channel. I just thought of that. I don't even know what to call this other than a knitting podcast, but yeah, you can find me actually also on Instagram. That's probably where I'm most active. I am at Live in Stitches, and on Ravelry I'm also Live in Stitches, all together, all lowercase. I'll try and put it on the screen here. I don't know if I'm tech savvy enough to do that. If not, I will put it in the description. Other than that, have a wonderful day.